I want my wings to fly. I'm not going to have my wings chopped off and be put in any kind of cage. I'm not a possession. I'm not a trophy, and I'm not going to be a trophy wife. If Anil Sharma feels I need to play a mother-in-law, I'll refute it. I don't need to play. Not that, Salman and you, they love our pairing in Ye Hai Jalwa, they love the way we look. One of the two best looking in the industry, so good looking bachche honge. And I'm like, okay, so that is my duty and job now to marry Salman, to give another generation of good looking, kids. May I, tell you that the Greek god term that is stuck with him was given by me.
Ooh.
I used to call him Pierce Brosnan. I used to say, you're like the Bond, because his features resemble Pierce Brosnan a lot. Ameesha, Hrithik, Rohit, Sonia became so synonymous that logon ko laga tha ki we should be married. We should be together.
Yeah.
We make a fantastic couple. Ki people were actually heartbroken if we would say, listen, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है हमारे साथ. We're just friends and co-stars, रप्टा कहाँ से सीखा तुमने इतना romantic ये रप्टा?
Hello everybody, I'm Radrani and welcome to Zoom Speak Easy. My guest today is so special. She's a source of happiness. She's adorable. She always speaks her mind and she is incredible with her screen presence. It's a very special time because 25 years ago, she was introduced to us and she continues to entertain us, the beautiful Ameesha Patel, and 25 years of Kaho Naa Pyaar Hai. Woo-hoo.
Wow, that's some introduction. Thank you so much.
But it's true, right? 25 years of Ameesha Patel.
Feels incredible, this journey, my God. It just feels like it's gone by in a heartbeat, It doesn't even feel like, wow, was it really that long? And if you take into consideration that it took 2 years for the film to be made as well, that's 27 years behind the camera. Like, where did time go?
Where did time go? We don't see much changes. You still remind us of the same person who was 25 years ago.
Sonia.
Sonia. That is so true. Our very beloved Sonia. पर मुझे लगता है बहुत सारी कहानियाँ आज सुनने को मिलेंगी. Besides Kaho Naa Pyaar Hai as well. बहुत कुछ बातें करनी है. So getting right into it. अमीशा, मुझे ये जानना है. Of course, casting को लेके उस टाइम पे बहुत न्यूज़ था. Somebody else was supposed to do it. और फिर ऑफ कोर्स राकेश जी सेट कि उन्होंने इसके बारे में बहुत सोचा कि दो सही डेब्यू फेसेस ही एक साथ अच्छे लगेंगे एंड दैट डिसीजन बट देयर वाज अ थिंग ऑफ कोर्स अबाउट करीना डूइंग इट एंड देन अदर एक्टर्स आल्सो काइंड ऑफ स्टेपिंग इन. आपके दिमाग में उस समय क्या चल रहा था?
First of all, I never gave an audition. I never gave a screen test. It was literally like Rakesh Uncle approached me on a Saturday and we started filming on a Wednesday. So I was someone who had no film knowledge, no technical knowledge, no acting classes, no diction classes, nothing. I was just a South Bombay girl back from studying from Boston and straight unfurled onto this huge set, performing and learning as I went along with no idea what was camera right, what was camera left, what was my right, what was my left in terms of camera and all that. So, what makeup looked good, what costume looked good. I was learning. The process was unfurling for me every single day.
Yeah.
And it didn't bother me that anyone XYZ was on the film before or could have been after. All I knew is I'm here now and I have to give my best. And if Rakesh Uncle has put so much faith in me when he's launching his son, and it's make or break for their career, I just have to make sure that he's happy with his choice. And that's all that played in my mind.
और उसके बाद of course आपकी और ऋतिक की बहुत सारी बातें हुई. Y'all were meeting on the sets because there was this sort of very real raw chemistry between the two of you. It also comes from the fact that you obviously had become friends, and that obviously helps. But मुझे ये जानना है कि उस तरह की preparations क्या होती थी उस समय पे? आप किस तरह से बातें चल? सेट का माहौल क्या होता था?
उस समय preparations होते ही नहीं थे. There was never this system कि हम लोग को bound script दिया जाता था, workshops किए जाते थे. See, Hrithik belonged to a film family, so he had already chosen this as his career in the future. He knew from a young age कि मुझे एक दिन एक्टर बनना है, फिर शायद डायरेक्टर बनना है. I will follow the footsteps of the legacy, the great legacy that the Roshans have. मैं अनजानी थी. मैं एक बिजनेस और पॉलिटिकल फैमिली से लेके I was in this completely alien world. तो हमारी कोई preparations ऐसी हुई नहीं. But what I really was lucky, I had a director as my first director who was a family friend also, who treated me like घर की बच्ची, but more importantly had been an actor. तो उनको जो actor की ज़रूरतें हैं, understanding होनी चाहिए. He knew because he'd been not only a director but an actor previously. So जब मैं अटक जाती थी, वो मुझे समझाते थे. ऋतिक भी बहुत हेल्प करते थे. And I knew ऋतिक since we were kids. Of course एक गैप हुआ था जब मैं अमेरिका चली गई थी पढ़ने. So I did not meet Hrithik for that long time, and when I came back, he'd become this gorgeous Greek god. And may I, tell you that the Greek god term that is stuck with him was given by me.
Ooh.
I used to call him Pierce Brosnan. I used to say you're like the Bond because his features resemble Pierce Brosnan a lot. A young Pierce Brosnan. So I used to call him Pierce Brosnan from day one on the set. And मैंने ऋतिक को कहा था कि whatever the result of the film, you are a superstar. Though I had full faith as the filming continued to happen that Rakesh Uncle was a prolific maker, one of the finest makers in our country. The songs of Rajesh Roshan ji were incredible.
Yeah.
Choreography by Farah Khan was stupendous. The camera work, like everything just fell into place. It was so beautiful, the locations. I was like, things really have to go against us for things to go wrong. I had full faith. Of course, you're nervous, you can never tell. But I kept that positive vibration going on the set always. I was like, we're going to have a good hit. We're going to have a blockbuster,
Were there things in the set that at that time, now you think like, chalo, shoot hogi, that went wrong, that made you all nervous? Were there things that
of course,
we are
there
not
were
aware
so
of?
many. First of all, it was an era where there were no AC sets. So while performing these dance numbers, which, at that time, today a song is finished in 3 days, because the actors rehearsal करके आ जाते हैं. They are sent into rehearsals before they shoot. हम लोग जो सीखते थे वहीं पे सीखते थे in costume, hair and makeup.
All heavy.
Heavy, and pasina in torturous heat. अच्छा, कभी we are shooting in places like New Zealand outdoor where it's freezing cold, where frost bites, pneumonia का खतरा, and I'm wearing these पतले chiffon की साड़ी and pretending I'm very romantic and feeling happy, but I am dying in the cold. Then you're doing the Kaho Naa Pyaar Hai title track or Pyar Ki Kashti on the boat. The boat is like literally, like this because of the waves of the sea, and you have to get a grip on it. You're seeing people throwing up because sea sickness हो रही है, कोई green apple खा रहा है, कोई दवाइयाँ ले रहा है. And when you're shooting, like when we were shooting the Kaho Naa Pyaar Hai title track, we were on an island which used to be covered with water, sunrise and sunset. We had only those few 8-10 hours where the island had no water. What you saw, that triangle, was actually covered completely with water. So we used to be rushing for our lives to get on it and get off it before and after the water would come in little dinghy boats. There were no washrooms. There were no shops where you could get food. There were no, like when we needed to pee, we literally were like, we're inhabitants of the island. Go in one corner, कर ले. It was torture. अच्छा, मेकअप टचअप करने के लिए एक छाते के अंदर हम लोग बैठ के कर रहे, कोई छाँव नहीं है, फटाफट करो, शॉट दे दो, and quickly पानी आ रहा है, finish your shot, rush into a boat and get on land. So, and it was 40-45 degrees. तो ऋतिक and me जो गोरे चिट्टे, साफ सुथरे गए थे island पे, by the time we finished shooting the song after 8-10 days, we were black and different colors of skin because kahin tan marks the, kahin, and salt water, mud, sand. We got allergies on our face. It was very difficult. And in fact, I must tell you one very interesting thing which was quite, which Hrithik will never let you know, I will never let, like when we were shooting the climax, when it was intense action, Hrithik had to take a jump. And when he jumped, we were all just, our hearts were in our mouth क्योंकि ऋतिक के back की तोड़ने की आवाज़ कट, we actually fell, and he fell and his back was gone. And we rushed him to the hospital at 3 in the morning, and Kaho Naa Pyaar Hai actually got delayed by 6 months because Hrithik had to be bed rested, go into rehab. We came back, Rakesh Uncle put on the same set. It of course costed a lot of money and financial losses also were faced. Come back on set, there's a shot where the villains and all are, you know, gun firing, and the bullet comes, and I had the presence of mind just to turn my face at the nick of the hour, like literally nick of time. Otherwise, I would have been blind.
Oh God.
But that bullet came and got me on my back, and there was a big hole. And first stage ऐसी चीजें ही नहीं set पे. You know, action director saying कि rally spray लगा दो, and I'm like, rally spray तो aches and pains के लिए, I need Bernol, I need something. Hrithik rushed me in the middle of the night, went to a chemist, got me the Bernol, got me pills, and he's busy rubbing it on my back. So, you know, Hrithik and I went through a very unique journey where we were friends first, co-stars later. We were two friends learning on a set, practicing autographs.
Yeah.
Ki, Hrithik, you think we'll need to give people autograph? And Hrithik would say, you think, Ameesha, we'll need to? Chal, let's practice in the event that we become stars. So it was really cute. It was like two school buddies blossoming together.
Did you all practice those autographs?
We did.
बहुत handy आए होंगे वो उसके बाद.
We did. ये नहीं जानते हुए कि लोग हमारे autographs चाहेंगे भी या नहीं, लेकिन हम लोग हर 5-7 दिन में एक यूनिक ऑटोग्राफ एक दूसरे को दिखाते थे और सजेशंस देते थे कि ऋतिक आप ये ऐसे बदलो. ऋतिक would tell me, Ameesha, what if you change this a little bit? So you know, that's something no one can take away from us. So.
After the movie was released, people went crazy. You tell me, because you all will tell us the better story. Release happened, people went crazy. Did you have crazy fans? I want to know it all.
So what was funny is कि ऋतिक और मुझे ये कभी लगा नहीं था कि हम लोग overnight sensations बन जाएंगे. हम लोग heartthrob of the nation, and internationally also people will be just mad about us. So ऋतिक ने मुझे बोला कि you know, first day first show, Ameesha, आपके टाउन में साउथ बॉम्बे में ईरोस थिएटर है, लेट्स गो चेक आउट द फिल्म देयर, आई वांट टू सी रिएक्शंस. अभी मैं नॉन फिल्मी साउथ बॉम्बे गर्ल, मुझे ये सब पता नहीं है कि व्हाट इज चेकिंग आउट रिएक्शंस एंड यू नो, तो आई वेंट विद द फ्लो. सो ऋतिक एंड आई वेंट टू ईरोस. वी सैट टिल ऑलमोस्ट द फर्स्ट हाफ, और जब इंटरवल के 10-15 मिनट पहले ऋतिक ने कहा कि चल, let's go outside and have a samosa and sandwich and you know, a gold spot and limca, whatever. So I said, chalo chalte. Even I was hungry and thirsty. So we went out. Interval ki ghanti baji, and the entire crowd came out and were hounding us. And you know, that time it was not a time of entourage, bodyguards. ये वो नहीं था, बिल्कुल नहीं था. आज के ज़माने में you see a स्टार जाते उनके पीछे you know सैकड़ों लोग जाते, but they were very simple times. There was no social media, there was none of this. So Hrithik and I were standing like two normal people, and suddenly everyone came out. कोई हाथ दे रहा है, कोई नोट दे रहा है, कोई भगवान की तस्वीरें निकाल रहा है, कोई हनुमान चालीसा निकाल रहा है और हम लोग को पेन दे रहा है, autograph. And Hrithik and I had to be rushed out by the security of the theatre.
Correct.
And life just changed after that. From being a girl next door, a boy next door, Hrithik and I were revered, and everywhere we went, you know, it was Kaho Naa Pyaar Hai, Hrithik Roshan, Ameesha Patel. You know, we became from unknown people to these known entities. अच्छा, इतने सारे लोगों ने मेरी तस्वीर लेके मंदिर में जाके शादी कर ली थी. And वो love letters लिखते थे, fan letters लिखते थे with sindoor vindoor in my hair with the pictures and stuff. And I used to get shocked because it was also scary, you know, to have these things. खून से भरे हुए letters, they would slit their wrists, write letters in blood. So there was this hysteria that went beyond just madness and love for you. And in a day and age where there was no social media, where there was no Google and all that, कहाँ से लोग आ जाते थे, मेरे बिल्डिंग में पहुँच जाते थे from rural areas, from urban areas of India, कहाँ से, they'd find the address and be stalking, and literally
can be scary.
Security guards extra had to be had by my building because just to get these people away. So that was the scary aspect. And of course, Hrithik and I got a dime a dozen proposals for marriage, and Valentine's Day would be crazy. It's film released in January.
Yeah.
In February came Valentine's Day, and it was like, which better Valentine than Ameesha and you know, Hrithik. And Ameesha, Hrithik, Rohit, Sonia became so synonymous that लोगों को लगा था कि we should be married, we should be together, we make a fantastic couple. कि people were actually heartbroken if we would say, listen, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है हमारे साथ, we're just friends and co-stars, you know. So, but yes, it was magnanimously beautiful times to be revered like this. And I remember the first show that we did in Calcutta, live performance, and in Delhi, stadiums were packed. You know, cricket stadiums were packed where people perform, and our bodyguard, Shera, who's with Salman, was with us. Salman had given us Shera to take care of us. And he had to lift both of us and take us out of the stadium because he said, this is pure madness. People will literally take the clothes off. They were dying to just touch us.
Yeah.
Are they even real? So yeah, it's phenomenal, and I'm very grateful to God to have experienced that. I don't know how many people get that chance. You know?
Yeah, you know, you mentioned Salman. Hrithik was actually kind of, he was like this little godfather who actually was guiding Hrithik for his
Yeah.
fitness and everything.
Yeah.
But you also had a really special one with Salman, right?
Yeah.
How was that? Because that was the start of a friendship that, you know, continues.
Yeah, Salman actually knew me way before I came into films as
Yeah.
well. We had a lot of common friends. We'd attend a lot of social gatherings and all together. And till date, Salman and I have an amazing friendship. In fact, just recently we were at the airport together before I flew to New York in December, and he was going for his Dabang shows. And he walked into the lounge, saw me, we hugged each other, and he started whistling and singing Kaho Naa Pyaar Hai, and I'm like, Salman, you know we're not the only ones in the lounge, but everyone was very sweet about it at like 2 a.m. in the morning. Like, but all the other guests were also like, okay, Salman's doing all this naughty and all, which is him.
Yeah.
But he used to love Kaho Naa Pyaar Hai. In fact, he was one of the first people Rakesh Uncle showed the film to. He came for a trial show, and he was screaming and dancing and singing on our songs. You know, that was the kind of happiness Salman had. So, yeah. You know, our superstars like Shah Rukh and Salman and Sunny and Achche and Achche and all are so secure in their positions. They know what they bring to the table, no one else can. And that is their largeness. In fact, there was a time when Shah Rukh, Gauri, Hrithik, me and Suzanne were all sitting at Sun and Sand after shooting together, and Shah Rukh was there with his friends, and me, Suzanne and Hrithik were, you know, together after a long day shoot. We'd come to eat at the coffee shop, and Shah Rukh came up to Hrithik and me, and, you know, Shah Rukh just hugged us, and he said, listen guys, y'all are going to be big stars. Don't let the stardom get into your head. Take care of yourselves. This world can be a crazy world. And, you know, they're so sweet. That's why they're superstars. And that's why they are still superstars.
100%. How was the call with Hrithik? It was his birthday as well. I saw the sweetest post that you put out.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, Hrithik has my name still saved as Heroine in his contact list from the time of Nokia to BBM to now in our iPhone era. And I will always be Heroine for him from the first day. Like, he'll never replace my name with Ameesha also. But it was lovely, you know, and reminiscing about 25 years and then the Netflix series coming out too. It's a long legacy, and, you know, one where he's gone into the third generation and taken it ahead so beautifully. So it's a lot to be grateful and thankful for. Kaho Naa releasing on his birthday to mark our 25th anniversary. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and like, you know, it's
I mean, and that picture I posted was actually at my house in South Bombay. And we were just about to go into shooting 3 days later, and everyone, Rakesh Uncle, Pinky Auntie, Hrithik, were all at my house, and we'd popped a bottle of champagne and we were going into the shoot, you know, in 3 days. So that was that picture where the journey started.
I'm talking about the scene where in the club you can't, like, you're shocked that you're seeing Raj, और वो बहुत interesting scene होता है. And there is a certain innocence with which you do it also, right? कि इस तरह से लगना है. There were, you know, a lot of actors say that, you know, we were told to do so much things to our face. कि your nose is not big enough. It's, you know, you're not cute enough. Get this, done that. There are too many things told to a female actor. Did you get those kind of advices, or did you get it later? Because you're someone who's also very confident about who she is, you know. And how did you deal with that?
By the grace of God, no one has ever asked me to change anything. In fact, Rakesh Uncle, like I told you, never even auditioned me. I didn't have a screen test. He just looked at me at a wedding and said, you're my Sonia. You know, so I obviously fit his criteria, what he wanted in Sonia Saxena for Kaho Naa Pyaar Hai. And when Hrithik saw me for the first time, and I didn't know they had this exchange, he did this to Rakesh Uncle, which he told me much later after I had signed the film that, you know, when Dad said he's found his Sonia, I was waiting to see you. and you entered the room and you wanted to go to the washroom. So when you left for the washroom, I did this. So they all knew they'd found their Sonia. But I actually didn't know what makeup meant. I didn't know what hair meant. I didn't know what costumes were. I didn't try to create a rage. I didn't try to create a look. I just went with the flow. I used to never even bother to brush my hair. कि ये है जाओ सामने कैमरा के. I'm still like that. I'm very easy, like wash and go.
और उस hysteria के बाद?
But even then, like only the film that I had to work on a particular look was Sakina for Gadar.
Yeah.
Because that was a traditional look that went back to the 40s, a Pakistani girl. It was a different era. It was a period film.
Yeah.
I had to work on a Mangal Pandey with Amir to look of that era, you know. So otherwise, I've never really worked. In fact, I hated my pink skirt that I wore in Kaho Naa Pyaar Hai.
That was torn.
That was torn by Hrithik on the goddamn beach because I had worn it for 45 days nearly of shooting. I had the Janeman songs shot in it. I had scenes shot in it. I had the island scenes shot in it. I had the boat scenes shot in it. And then I had to do the whole title track in it. So when Hrithik actually ripped it off, it was like a relief. I had 10 multiple copies of those skirts. There were 10, 15 lying on the set because एक फट जाता था, एक को कुछ लग जाता था, मिट्टी लग जाती थी. So I was like, I hate this costume. And that costume only became iconic.
Yeah.
You know, after the film released, every girl, every teenager, every school kid was wearing that costume and performing. So we never tried to create a trend, it just happened.
Of course.
And luckily, the only thing that I've always heard from people is, you're prettier in person than you are on screen.
Yeah.
You know, and there have never been this case for any surgeries or, you know, nothing. God has been kind. None of my directors have ever told me ki do this and do that.
Yeah.
Only person when I was doing Lazy Lamhe, Aditya Chopra told me, he said, see, you've got this very good girl, beautiful image, and there's a raw sensuality in you.
Yeah.
But I want to bring that out. Are you ready for the challenge to change your image from being beautiful to sexy?
Yeah.
And I was like, Adi, you know me, I'm always up for a challenge. So that's the only time I really worked to maybe tone my body, you know, and that song Lazy Lamhe with Saif became iconic.
Of course.
But other than that, it was just about getting fitter. It was never about altering any kind of features or, you know, things like that. By the grace of God, I was spared that. I wouldn't listen to it.
Unless you want to do it, why would you do it for somebody else?
I wouldn't. When I horrendously went blonde, I did it for me. People didn't like it, liked it. When I went back to my darker hair, natural hair, I did it for me.
Yeah.
So I've really been someone who's gone against the tide. I've never ever followed the dictates of the film industry in any aspect, you know. So I like to think I carve my own path, and I'm happier doing that.
No, absolutely. You know, you mentioned Gadar, so I want to bring this up because there has been so much that is being written or discussed on social media, right? I know how proud you are of Gadar too, and you continue to be. But there is something that went wrong, I feel, out there, you know, and because why you put that post out as well regarding Anil Sharma. And then I think now that the video actually shows Mr. Anil Sharma saying ki, you know, climax जो आपको बताया जा रहा था Gadar 2 में, वो काफ़ी अलग था जो कि मूवी में था, right? जहाँ पे I think you were supposed to be the one killing. पर वो हुआ नहीं. और फिर of course ये एक part of the conversation है. आपने, you know, the fact that you mentioned that you don't want to play a mother-in-law because that was your choice in Gadar 3, and I think he also had some things to say. But what I can see from all of this is that there is some things that you have been quiet about, but and I know you felt the need to talk about it now. So let's talk about it, Ameesha, because I want to know your side.
Actually, I've kept a dignified silence throughout the journey. I never spoke about any of this under filming. I never spoke about anything that happened during the promotions, release ke baad when the film became such a colossal hit. Yes, I was promised, as you can see from the video, and I don't know how. Actually, the video, everyone had it. All of Z Studios, all of Anil Sharma's office, all of Sunny's team, every technician. This video has been circulating now for 2 years, 3 years since the filming has happened, since 2021, 22 in fact. So I was promised, and that's the reason I shot the film, that Sakina ही villain को मारेगी क्योंकि वही हकदार है. अशरफ अली जो सकीना के पिता थे, जो उनके अब्बा जान थे, the villain had killed him. He'd hung him. The villain had put Sunny Deol, Tara Singh and Jeete's life into jeopardy and wanted to kill them as well. So ये सकीना ही जाएगी because it's a justified revenge. Because she was the one from Pakistan and this revenge was coming from Pakistan. So everyone agreed on it, even Sunny had agreed to it. Everybody was like, हाँ यही होना चाहिए. In fact, अगर ये climax होगा, this film will go to another level. ये हुआ नहीं. Was I sad? Was I upset to hear about it? Of course I was, because Anil Sharma is family to me since 27 years. And he went and shot a different climax. And I heard from the unit members कि climax हो चुका है. But my director did not have the dignity to call me for 1 year. And tell me that he's done this. And when he was doing this, he didn't even come and say that Ameesha ji, I need to talk to you. आप हमारी सकीना हो, मैं आपके साथ ये नहीं कर सकता. I don't think this climax fits for whatever reasons, though it was never justified why it wouldn't, because the film would have only done 300 crores more probably. And I'm sure he regrets that decision also. But he should have picked up that phone, had a personal meeting with me, explained to me his reasons and justifications as to why he was altering something we'd all agreed upon, and the reason why I was actually agreeing to do this film. So he should have justified to me and told me that ye nahi to ye sahi. In place of that, I will give you something as meaty, and discussed it like you would. But anyway, bygones are bygones. The film's done wonders at the box office. He's family, he'll always will be, and I'm sure somewhere his conscience will hurt him, and he regrets his decision. So let's leave it at that. I don't know how the videos come about, and today it's circulating everywhere, but it's something that everyone has had for 3 years, and I've just chosen to keep a dignified silence about it.
Sure. I think the question also arises because आपने हमेशा कहा है, उन्होंने भी कहा है कि आप एक फैमिली की तरह हो, the पूरा यूनिट ऐसे था, which is what was surprising when you said that मुझे नहीं करना mother-in-law का रोल, मेरी विश है, वो अलग बात है at Gadar 3, and when he chose to say that आजकल की heroines and whatever, it felt like a comment that was a little off because you all share a bond. What were your thoughts on that?
I choose to ignore a lot of things that Anilji says because he says things in the spur of the moment. Now, what characters I choose or choose not to play. Tomorrow I may choose to play a grandmother. That's entirely my call as an actor.
100%.
Today, I think a Shah Rukh or a Salman or an Achche or a Sunny, they've all chosen their own paths, right? They are senior actors. Today, they haven't come as father-in-laws and mother-in-laws and things like that. And many of the senior actresses as well. It's entirely up to them. At every point in my life of cinema, I've chosen to do things the way I wanted. In fact, so much so that when Gadar was being announced, and a lot of the stalwarts in the film industry knew I had given my nod for the film. I won't take their names, but they all advised me not to do Gadar. They all said that Anil Sharma has just given a disaster in a film called Maharaja. Are you crazy you'll work with him? Forget that. Okay, hits and flops happen to everyone. He's a very competent director, and I never judge anyone by their previous success or failure. So keep that aside. What they had a problem with was that, Ameesha, you're coming as a young, bubbly college girl with a young debut hero. Why would you choose in your second film to play a college girl in a era, as pre-independence, and go to playing a mother of an 8-year-old so early in your career? You're completely committing harakiri with your career. And I said, no, I have complete faith in the film. So I went with my gut. And that was the only film I would play a mother for. Even till now, I would play it because it's Gadar, the film that I fell in love with on narration. When Kaho Naa Pyaar Hai hadn't even released, even someone like Rakesh Uncle told me, Ameesha, are you sure you want to do this film? I'm launching you in such a young, vibrant way, and then there you're going and doing a serious, more serious personality. I said, no, Rakesh Uncle, I think I need to. And there were so many dates of Kaho Naa Pyaar Hai and Gadar that were clashing. And Rakesh Uncle allowed me to do that film and gave those dates to me. He said, Chalo, you want to do it, go ahead, though I don't think it's a wise decision. So there were many people that went against it. So, but I have always gone with what I have felt is my gut instinct. People told me, don't do Humraaz. How can you have this? You're a good girl. You can't come across as a money-hungry, kind of manipulative, kind of bitchy,
Yeah.
But I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And I knew that changeover was there in the second half, People told me, don't do honeymoon travels. Why would you want to? Slice of life films were a first of its kind.
Yeah.
People hadn't done these kind of films. But I wanted to do it. Bhool Bhulaiya, so many films that actually worked at the box office. People said, don't do them. But I have always gone with my gut. So again today, if Anil Sharma feels I need to play a mother-in-law, I'll refute it. I don't need to play it. And I will never play it. I don't need to go that. Real life is different what a person needs to do and not do. I don't need to follow it. Amir Khan played a teenager, school student, college student, Three Idiots. Many people would have pointed fingers and say, why? But he did it with his gut and it worked.
Yeah.
So as actors, whether our journey works or it doesn't work, I think we have the right to decide, and we will always decide.
I realize that there is always the pressure of whether you call it society, relatives, the whole
Conforming.
world.
Yeah.
कि तुमको ना ऐसे करना, after a certain age you need to be married, after a certain age you need to do this, you need to have kids. And I feel like you've also broken all those kind of वो होता है ना opinions दूसरों के, and you're like, let me live my life. I'm happy. That I think is inspiring for a lot of women, because you're like, what? It's nice. Please, if you want, if that's your life, you want to go, you want to have kids, man,
I
do
make
it.
no judgments.
Yeah, no,
I'm not
why should you?
judgmental about
But I
anybody.
I feel single women are judged
Face a
a lot.
lot.
They'll ask, Arita, how is she earning money? How is she doing this? Why is she wearing these clothes?
I decided this when I was a school kid.
Yeah.
That I want to be independent. My family did not want me to go to America to study. They wanted me to go to England, where the entire family, my cousins, everyone reside, and they were like, we'll have someone to look over you. I was like, no, I want to go to America. I want to be different because I want to grow as a human being on my own. I want to break these shackles of being protected and possessed and, And from day one, I had said, I have a choice. I can go from being Barrister Rajni Patel's granddaughter to being someone's so-and-so wife, all the richest proposals, the biggest, industrial homes, corporate homes, biggest finance families, and have a very, very, very nice, luxurious life where I don't have to lift a finger. I was born not with a silver spoon, I was born with a golden spoon. I don't know more than a Mercedes. I never had to drive to school in less than a Mercedes in my life. I chose to struggle and make my own money and be independent. I just didn't want to be going from someone's granddaughter and daughter to someone's wife. Where would Ameesha Patel, the identity of my own person, go? And I'm very proud today that I earn my own money. Good or bad, I give myself my own life.
Yeah.
And of course, who doesn't want to be treated like a princess?
Yeah.
Every
We
girl,
all deserve
we all
it.
deserve it.
We all deserve
and it's
it.
our birthright.
100%.
And if a man can't treat you, then there's no space for him in our lives. But you have a right to make yourself your own princess. Like I always believe, don't go looking for a rich husband. Be that rich husband yourself.
Say that again. Wonderful.
So,
no, but it's true, right?
Yeah.
Like, and for you, the judgments, मुझे लगता है, as an actor, the judgments double होंगे. They'll be like, अरे, in this field, they become like this one. I have heard people talk like that. Because, they come from that stereotypical way of thinking. Aj, it might have changed a little. I still think it's harder for female actors. Tell me if you agree.
It is very, very hard.
Also then,
And then, you have those relatives and all. Abhi, you don't think so. And now, of course, they stop because I'm like, if you want to be in my life, go by my terms, but I have chosen. And if you don't like it, to hell with it. That's why I have a core group of very close friends who accept me for what I am, who are forward thinking. They don't have these regressive thoughts in their mind. They're like, let her live her life on her own terms and conditions. I want my wings to fly. I'm not going to have my wings chopped off and be put in any kind of cage. I'm not a possession. I'm not a trophy, and I'm not going to be a trophy wife or a trophy girlfriend. I have my own personality, and this is something I've gotten in my head since I was in school. You know, it's not that after coming into the film industry it changed. It just got worsened because you were in the public eye.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and the suitors got more. You know, earlier there may have been 100 men chasing you, now that in billions.
Yeah.
So people think, "Arey yaar, itne sare log, and you know, you must be having the world at your feet. Decide who you want to be with. Just be with a man." But being with a man, it doesn't complete me. You know, you need to be your own independent person.
And you need to be complete in
Yourself, yeah. That's not my validation.
And because we're talking about this, you know, there is a certain person, if you like, you will be, na, with that person.
Absolutely.
Tell me, Isha, how do you look at love and relationships and the idea of what kind of man you want to be with?
See, first of all, in the quintessential way, you know, he has to be educated, well-spoken. Cerebral stimulation is something I definitely look for because I'm not a dumb bimbo myself. You know, I'm highly educated and I'm cerebral. I have a worldview, I have a socio-political view. But more than that, he has to know that I cannot put tears into this girl's eyes. You know, I have to keep her like this. She has to be my princess. I have to respect her. I have to respect her emotions. I have to respect her trust, her loyalty, everything that she might be giving up for me. And if that man can't respect that, then that man has no space in my life. He has to accept also that I am in the public eye. With that come a lot of glory, but with that come a lot of brickbats too. You know, and with that come a lot of reservations, with that come, you know, because most men get scared and intimidated with a person,
Like
with a lady in the limelight.
Insecurities,
things like that. But the bottom line is that man should put tears of happiness into my eyes, not sadness.
How sweet.
You know, and that for me is very important. He should respect me at all levels.
100%, and that respect is the main foundation of anything.
Because, you know, there doesn't have to be that. I've seen so many marriages where people are not happy. So is a companionship sometimes not enough? A companionship can be enough.
Exactly.
He has to be your best friend.
Yeah.
You know, I think in a man you would look for is a best friend.
So well said. And you did say about the fact that some marriages are just there. They just stay.
They just
and
exist.
There's no love.
They just exist.
We know so much in the industry.
Yeah.
You know that.
And out of it. I've seen it with my
friends.
friends. I've seen it in the family. I've seen it with cousins. I've seen it all around the globe.
Just that they want to look like a
They're just one
couple.
Or there's some either children keeping them together, or there's some financial thing keeping them together, or it's just society that needs them to be together. They can't break out of the shackles of that, you know. But
वो तो fake ही हुआ ना.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you live like that?
Exactly. But like I said, I don't judge, to each his own.
Yeah.
And but I don't need to conform.
100%. हम बात कर रहे हैं marriages की. जब रिलीज हुई थी कहो ना प्यार है, तब everybody wanted you and Hrithik. People have a heartbroken that Hrithik got married to Susan.
Yeah, I know.
From what I remember, क्या कर लिया शादी Susan से? Even right? I remember.
Everybody was like, "Nahi, he has to marry Sonia. He has to marry Ameesha." They were very heartbroken.
It was crazy, and then of course.
And Hrithik and I used to laugh because you know what happened is Hrithik went on his honeymoon, and immediately after his honeymoon, Hrithik and Suzanne came to Australia to shoot with me. We were shooting for Mujhe, Achche, Lagne, Lage. And, you know, he came, we were in Sydney or Melbourne, I don't remember which city of Australia it was, because we shot in a couple of cities. And Hrithik and Suzanne came back from their honeymoon, and we were all sitting in my room in the hotel, and we were having a laugh. I'm like, okay, now from your real wife, you know, you get back to your reel, because that's what people want to see. So we had a really, really good laugh about it.
Of course. And today I think I see a lot of them kind of trying to say, please marry Salman because he's the eligible bachelor.
And we're both single.
है ना? I see a lot of them on saying आप और सलमान क्यों ना शादी कर ले? So मतलब they are deciding it for you.
They always decide. And you know what the criteria is? Not that, you know, Salman and you, they love our pairing in Ye Hai Jalwa, they love the way we look. One of the two best looking in the industry, तो good looking बच्चे होंगे. And I'm like, okay, so that is my duty and job now to marry Salman, to give another generation of good looking, you know, kids. So it's hilarious. Acha, when I did Gadar 1, people were so caught up with Tara Sakina.
Yeah, Tara.
So I was shooting for Humraaz in Jaipur, and it was the climax scene where Bobby comes and hugs me, and we were at the fort, you know, at Jaipur fort. And there were loads of people downstairs, onlookers watching the shooting, and of course they were barricaded and all. And when Bobby came and hugged me, they started screaming, "अरे ये छोड़ दे इसको, ये तेरी भाई की अमानत है, ये पाकिस्तान से लेकर आया, छोड़ दो, हाथ मत लगा." So this is just a testimony, and the beauty of cinema, that people, when they actually love a film, they take the characters to their heart. So you don't feel offense by it. You just feel really happy that people have loved you so much that they want the real to happen in real.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful.
No, I love that. Before we come back to Kaho Naa Pyaar Hai, you mentioned आप मुझे अच्छे लगने लगे. Can we talk about? She's laughing.
Oh my God!
Can we talk about आप मुझे अच्छे लगने लगे? क्योंकि I mean the movie is a whole lot of fun, Ameesha.
And it's been made a whole lot of fun, especially during lockdown with the memes. Oh my God!
But I want to understand, when you today see the film and you watch yourself and the way it was done, the I think it was maybe innocence thing.
We were very cute. We were very excited to be on the set. Hrithik and I were like, "Chalo, we're playing totally different characters." Achha, I was playing a quintessential Gujarati. So he's like, "Chalo, the Patel will get her character, the Navratri nights and all that." And in lockdown, those memes about, when I'm telling my bhabhi कि school क्या है, college क्या है, अब तक मैंने देखा भी नहीं. So during lockdown, when it was study from home and work from home, all these memes were so relevant that they were coming. And especially that one embarrassing one where I've swallowed pills and I'm asthmatic and and it wasn't made clear that I'm an asthmatic patient because there was no pump. No one made clear. The director faltered there, and I should have also suggested कि मुझे pump दे दो बाबा. I should let the audience know I'm asthmatic. But people have gone crazy with that meme, and I know that's very viral, and I laugh at it. But it was cute. I mean, it was again a very cute, innocent film, and you won't believe it, especially when I go overseas, America, Canada, England, and all. People love that film, because they just relate so much to the Navratri culture and the whole dandiya and everything, and Hrithik doing the dandiya and me doing the garba and all that.
Hrithik was talking recently about how much he gets embarrassed when he looks at things like "Main Prem Ki Diwani." My point is the fact that you're aware of it shows that you have grown.
I think as actors at that time, we never ran away from our films that didn't do well or where we looked not proper, foolish or whatever. We accepted that हम लोग ने super hits भी दी है, हम लोग ने super flops भी दी है. We own our films. We don't run away from owning our films. Today's actors, they don't even promote a film if they know कि चलो there's a little damadole at the box office, which we never did. We totally owned our films, and we totally own our films till date. We're very proud.
इतने सारे फिल्मों की बात करें तो कैसे हमराज की बात ना करें. Humraaz was kind of the turning point, like you rightly said. They only looked at you like this really sweet, and then after आप मुझे तो you were even more this भोली बाली सी लड़की, and all of that was happening. It was a kind of like a switch. Was it initially difficult for you to get into the character, to understand her? Because obviously, that's the fun. You're not that character. Also, how was that? The reactions you got post that, because you were owning it.
So it was a challenge, but I was very keen to work with Abbas Mustan as directors, and I knew that if I have to be an Abbas Mustan heroine, then I have to have a little bit of Kameena-pun in me. But they wanted me not to be obviously a Kameeni, like they wanted that she's cunning, but she's innocently doing it. And even in the first half, it was for Achche for love, in the whole thing that, I'm in love and I'm going to have a better life with the man I love, till I realized that he's actually not such a good person. So my changeover to be convincing and to be a mean person convincingly without trying too hard was difficult, because you can have a very over the top performance. But I had such amazing directors like Abbas Mustanji, and they would guide me even if one expression went a little bit too much or too less. And then Bobby and Achche are a dream. So they would always be fooling around on set, always running into makeup vans to play cards or to eat pizza, and it was that kind of thing. So even though you saw these dynamics of really three cunning people and that cat and mouse game going on, off the camera we were just like three stupid college kids, waiting to play board games or waiting to eat pizza or waiting to have ice cream, and all of us love our food. Okay, what are you going to order for lunch? And it was that kind of camaraderie, and I think that chemistry between all three of us, even Bobby and Achche not being insecure of each other's roles, helped. And they always knew that, okay, Humraaz is kind of a film that Ameesha is a central character between us all. She's the Humraaz keeping all the secrets. And they were never insecure about that, which for a hero is a great thing, you know, when he knows that the girl has such an important character.
And not many are.
And not many are like that. So I think it was wonderful, and that's the reason the film worked, because everyone did it with conviction.
Okay, fantastic. Some fun questions, shall we, Ameesha?
Absolutely. Shoot.
Okay, let's do. Ameesha's favorite on-screen character from her career?
अरे इतने सारे हैं. But
एक.
Sonia Saxena will be close to my heart. Sakina is my ethereal. And of course Priya from Humraaz. But even Pinky, the air-headed one from Honeymoon Travels. Radha from Bhool Bhulaiya. You know, there's so many. And even the air-headed girl that I was, Cherry, in Race 2. You know, the dimwit. Playing a dimwit is very difficult, by the way, playing a bimbo, and even playing Malaika in Thoda Pyar Thoda Matching, because I'm not a bimbo in real life. You know, so playing that air-headed blonde, dumb blonde was it was an act for me, and quite difficult to do, because you can fall flat on your face doing it. So they're very, very special.
Difficult to choose one, but we have a few. Okay, let's go. Hands down today, right now sitting here, who do you think has been truly your favorite co-star because you think you all look amazing together on screen?
Well, I think Hrithik and me look fantastic. And
एक लेना.
Sunny and I as Tara and Sakina do wonders. Salman and I are so good together. Bobby and I mean, yeah, I think these four would be definitely my top choices. Though I've done films with Ajay, Akshay, Kumar and Khanna, Sanjay Dutt, like all of them. And a mini Om Shanti Om with Shah Rukh, I think. A full-fledged film with Shah Rukh and a love story would just be fantastic.
Would be fantastic for sure. Does Ameesha think that if she would have gotten more support from the industry, she would have been somewhere else today?
Anyone in any profession that gets support from that particular profession will always be pushed further. But at the end of the day, support or no support, you know, you have God, you may not have a godfather, and then you have to have it in you, and the audiences have got to love you. No matter who supports you, if the audience doesn't love you and come to the cinemas for you, it's not going to work. So
tell me one favorite dialogue of yours that you love emoting.
I think the iconic dialogue of Kaho Naa Pyaar Hai, रपटा, कहाँ से सीखा तुमने इतना romantic ये रपटा? That had become a rage after Kaho Naa Pyaar Hai, and everyone was like, what is this term rapta? Because genuinely the world hadn't heard rapta, you know. So
absolutely. Okay, if you had to tell today an actor that you really want to work with because of the talent that you think he has.
Rajkumar Rao, Kartik Aaryan, you know, Ayushmann Khurrana. I think we have, you know, on-screen pairings have become so unusual now. See, I've been there, done it all, worked with all of them, from Amir to, you know, Salman to Sanju to Junior NTR to Mahesh Babu to Pawan Kalyan, way before, you know, pan-India stars were even a thing. And given the biggest blockbusters, Balakrishna, Vijay from Tamil. So I've worked with all across. But what has happened is that there was always a hero, heroine, villain, comedian, that typical stereotype. Today they've merged. Today a hero plays an anti-hero, he plays a comedian also, he plays a spy also. And these so-called, like, first of all, I never understood the term content films, but like pairings have become unusual, and those draw a lot of you know, curiosity within the audiences too, and they're exciting, you know, to have these kind of pairings as well. So why not? My old co-stars, new co-stars, world is my oyster. I have a long journey ahead, so why not?
Of course. Okay, quickly, at least 2 or 3 people from the industry, actors who you think you have real friendships with and how they've carried forward.
Sanjay Dutt, Sunny Deol, Salman, Hrithik. I think these guys are just a phone call away from me, and Sanju's always checking on me. He's the one, he's like, you're too good to be in this industry. Leave. You're too innocent. You know, he's protective. He's like, Kanyadan main karunga, ladka main chununga. He's that kind of Sanju that I have. Very, very protective. Salman's, of course, like a buddy and all. That, like, so many of them, they're just a phone call away, you know. Sunny is, of course, someone I can go crying to from day one. I've always gone for anything and everything.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ameesha.
Thank you.
As usual, it's been wonderful chatting with you. Congratulations, 25 years of Ameesha Patel and Kaho Naa Pyaar Hai. I wish you all the love and all the luck.
Thank you
once again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.